This video will demonstrate the new Enhanced ISOs product. Users will start the new program from the accessories menu, or they can just run the executable just like they run any other Windows executable. But you can see here on the accessories menu I've added Enhanced ISOs. So the Enhanced ISO generator form will come up and it looks like this. So the first text box here, or let's look at the settings. The first setting is the options file, and as we mentioned in the specifications for this product, initially the options file will just be a text file. It's an XML file, and with this button you can browse to it. So you select the options file that you want to use. So you can see that I've created several examples here. Let's pick the one that's called PCF4 image, and if I look at that options file, you can see what's contained in the options file. So you have a set of SPR options like the color palette to use. So this is a normal SmartPlant Review .pal file that you'll use to set the colors for the items. And then these three lines are how you define the ISO line, the connected lines, and the connected equipment. So you have to specify the name to use from the SmartPlant Review model, and some start and end delimiters, and then what material or what color do you want to make each one of these items, and that material has to be in the palette file that you've specified. So these three options here are just like you currently use in the Plant Pilot options for doing scenes from ISOs. And then you can also, for the background, specify what material you want to use. So for instance, a transparent white or gray. And again, that material name has to be in this palette file. So those are the SmartPlant Review options. Next are the output options. So you have a template file that you can specify, which is a PDF file. So let me go take a look at that template file. So here I have a file called template.pdf. You can see it's just a blank isometric border. And then you have images that you can place into that template file. Now originally this was just going to be one image, and then I realized that sometimes an ISO or a pipeline can be hidden by the piece of equipment that it connects to. So I added the ability for you to specify as many images as you want in the options file. So that's why this file is named for image. If you use this options file to generate the enhanced ISOs, you're going to get 4 images, and each one of these images has a different orientation. So you can see you use orientation 1 for your traditional north up and to the left, 2 is for north up and to the right, 3 is for north down and to the left, and 4 is north down and to the right. So you can create up to 4 images in this output file. You also going to specify a boundary width, which is in meters. So that's the distance that you want to clip around the ISO pipeline when the view is saved. You can specify a width for the view and a height. And then you can specify an X position and a Y position, and these are in points in the template file that we just looked at. So using kind of a trial and error, you can figure out where to position these images so that they fit correctly on your template file. And then lastly, you can specify where the line ID text should be placed on the template file. So you can specify what font to use. We're going to use Arial. What point size? We're using 12 points. And then the X and Y coordinates for where to position that text on the template file. So this is what a configuration file will look like. And once you set one of these up, you'll use it over and over again, probably for many projects. So probably it's not a big deal to have a graphical interface for defining these settings. So if we go back to our enhanced ISO generator, that was the options file. The next setting is where are the ISOs that you're going to generate the enhanced output for. So you can see that I'm pointing to a folder called sample data. And if we look at that folder, I have some existing ISOs in that folder, and they have a .pdf extension. So you need to have, that's not PDF, so you need to have existing ISO drawings in PDF format and tell the program where they're located. And then the final setting is the output folder, which is telling the program where do you want to put the enhanced ISOs. So I'm putting them in a folder called output. And if we look at the output folder, you can see that there are currently no files there. So now to add PCF files, you'll click on the toolbar button up here that says Add Isogen Data Files. And I'm going to add these 3 files. I have a PCF file, which would be the type of file you would get from SmartPlant 3D. And then I have some IDF files, which would be the type of file that you would get from PDS ISOs. And you can see that when I added these files, the settings that were currently in the settings area here were applied to those files. Now, I can still select, for instance, these 2 IDF files, and maybe I need a different configuration file for the IDF files. So I can come up here and browse, and I can pick the IDF 4 image. Actually, yeah, I'll do the single image for this one, IDF, just to demonstrate that you can have multiple configuration files sitting out here for users to use to generate these enhanced ISOs. And then if I hit up, I've selected the 2 IDF files right here, and if I click the Apply to Selection button, you can see that those 2 files now have a different options file assigned to them. And as well, you could have assigned them different ISO drawing folders or output folders. But that's the way that works. Now, if you need to delete file, this listing here is the files that are going to get processed. And if you need to delete 1 or 2 or multiple files, you can select them and then click the delete button. But let's click this button to process the files. Now, when I click this, you're going to see it says no files to process. So you need to select the files in the list here that you want to process. That way, if you just need to reprocess 1 file, you can select it and click the process button. But I'm going to select all of those, and then I'm going to select on the process files button, and it's going to say, do you want to create enhanced ISOs for 3 selected files? I'll select OK, and now it's going to go off and process for a while. When it's finished, it'll let you know that it's finished and ask, do you want to look at the log file? And so a log file is being generated, and you can see for each one of these data files, you have a start line that tells you processing data file, and then different messages as it goes through. And at the end, you should have a result of success. So I've got a success for that one, a success for that one, and a success for that one. Now, if it failed in any spot in here, you would see an error message, and the result would say failed. So you could search for failed, and you would know, you could easily find the ones that weren't successful. So let's go look at the output folder. If I look at the output folder, you can see that it indeed created 3 files, and I'm naming them with the line name and the underbar EISO for enhanced ISO .pdf. So this one was the one that we did the 4 image ISO. So you can see that it took the original ISO. Now, before I go any farther, these ISO sheets don't match the piping in the model, so this is just for demonstration purposes. And when we get to the point where we want to test it on a real model, we'll do that and it'll match up. But this pipeline that you see on this ISO is not going to match the picture that you see. But what it does is it takes the original PDF file showing the ISO drawing, and to that it appends this sheet where it took the template PDF and it put the 4 images because we said in the configuration file, the options file, that we wanted 4 images at different orientations. And as you can also see down in the bottom right here, let me zoom in on that. Let's go. You can see down in the bottom right, it also put in the line number where we told it to using that Arial 12-point font. All right, so that's the 4-sheet ISO, and then the other ones were the single sheet IDF. And you can see, because this is a demo, it's the same, the ISO looks the same here. But if I go to the next sheet, you can see that I got a single image, and I need to adjust my image size. You can see that the image size is a little too big here, but I did get a single, and I would adjust that in the options file. That's where I was saying it's kind of a trial and error approach. And you can see I also got the line number down in the bottom right-hand corner. So that's the way the program works. Thanks.